I didn't know, when I was gonna be able to stay at that house. I didn't know where I was gonna end up.
Some nights where I was just hungry. That's all I heard in my system, was just hungry, hungry, hungry. I need to eat.
I was crying. I couldn't handle it anymore.
I wanted to do good in school, but I couldn't because my mind was kind of like, thinking where I was gonna end up later.
I can remember just being angry and then by myself.
I basically sleep in the yard with the dog, in that doghouse.
At work, I would actually have to sneak some food.
I was freezing, and I thought I was going to die.
Homeless youth are not very visible to the community. They are kind of broken souls. They're intimidated. They're cautiously trying to figure out how to fit into society in an untraditional way.
Well, statistics in Hillsborough County show that there are approximately 3,000 homeless children, and hundreds of those are what are defined as unaccompanied youth. And that means that they have no parental guidance, no adult guidance in their life. And unfortunately for those kids, the options are very, very limited, and quite often they end up involved with narcotics or in prostitution or even being victimized by predators out there on the street.
There are several cities across the country who've tackled youth homelessness and who are doing excellent work and are best practice models. And our community has failed to address this issue, specifically from providing the funding that's necessary to meet the needs of children and families who are homeless.
They may have been pushed out of the home for a variety of reasons and may still be trying to carry on that facade of a normal life and attending school as regularly as they may be able to. But what child has the strength to come forward in that situation and say, I'm homeless and I need help?
For me, it was just because I didn't want people to know. I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want people to look at me differently. Because at school, I was like the top dog. And so if all my friends would have found out I was in this terrible situation, they probably would have been like, oh, she's homeless, she doesn't have money, she's broke, she doesn't come from money, she doesn't have anything. I didn't want people to know that. I didn't want people to see me differently.
I'm sure there's a bunch of kids out there that are homeless, and that probably their teachers or coaches or whoever the people that are around them, they don't even know they're homeless. Kind of like in my situation, I wasn't open to letting people know about myself.
They have been abandoned, abused. Their hopes of relationships or stability have been broken. They don't trust easily.
It's hard to try to build up from nothing when you don't have anybody there to build up with you.
There's nothing out there for these kids, and I think as a community, we owe it to these kids to give them a chance at a productive life, to give them some kind of a support system, at least a safe environment in which they can have shelter and they can have the basic life needs taken care of so that they have that chance to become a productive citizen. Quite often, that's all it takes. Kids just need some kind of guidance. They need those, just basic needs taken care of, and then they can go from there. And it's amazing what kids can accomplish if just given a little bit of support.
When our employees saw the tremendous need, we got together and we have pledged to contribute $70,000 a year for 5 years in order to provide a large amount of the seed money needed to create the center. But in order to make sure that the center sustains itself, we need more help.
The Tampa Police Department supports a youth development center 100%. I mean, it makes so much sense. If we can reach these kids before they get into a life of crime, then, we've not only saved a life, we've saved some dollars in the community as well.
We're talking just meeting the needs of some of our most at-risk youth, that if we do not help now, we are losing out on potential leaders in our community.